Hi, so we're have an author here, Danielle Green, and we are going to read a story called Hey Girl, and it's about empowering women. So here's Danielle Green.
Thank you. I appreciate the introduction. Afternoon, everybody. And first, I want to say happy Juneteenth. What is it? Juneteenth to everyone. Just became a holiday, so I want to say happy holidays. My name is Danielle Green. I was born and raised in Flint, Michigan, and I am the author of several books. Most recently, I wrote a children book series. The first of the book series is called Hey Pretty Girl. And the second one in the series is called Hey Smart Girl. And the third one in the series is Hey Supergirl. Today I will be reading Hey Smart Girl. And I want to introduce some of the accessories that go with the books. In Hey Pretty Girl, it's a pet in each book. In Hey Pretty Girl, we have a miniature Yorkie named Bella. I'm sold out of those right now, but I'll show you a picture of Bella. It's a pet in each. Oh, here we go. This is a picture of Bella and the main character, Maya. Just so you know what Bella looks like. And in Hey Smart Girl, we have a kitty cat named Puff Puff. And here's Puff Puff right here. And Hey Supergirl, we have a bee, a bumblebee. And his name is Buzzy. So without any further ado, I want to say welcome. Thank you for joining me. And I hope you enjoy my story. The next book coming out will be Hey Birthday Girl, and it'll be 3 more after that. So stay tuned. There's more to come. So Hey Smart Girl by Danielle Green, illustrated by B. Jackson. And this is just a picture of all the characters. Each character will be a lead character in the book series. And first off, I'll read my dedication. My dedication is very special to me. And I read it. It's in all my books. I wrote 5 books and it will continue to be in all my books. It says, this book was written for my 3 gifts from God, Tia, Alyssa, and Michaela. I love you. Everything I do for you. All right, here we go. Alyssa, yelled Alyssa's mom. Time to come in and get cleaned up for dinner. Alyssa waved goodbye to her friends as she ran home to eat. Alyssa's dad was all smiles as he said to the family, do you know what tomorrow is? Nope, everybody said. What's tomorrow? Report card pickup, he shouted with excitement. Everyone smiled wildly as they did their happy dance. Puff Puff, did you hear what he said? Alyssa asked her kitty cat. Tomorrow is report card pickup day. Puff Puff just smiled. Bath time is over, Alyssa. Time to go to bed, said Alyssa's mom. Yes, Mom, said Alyssa as she yawned. Good night, Puff Puff. I love you, said Alyssa as she kissed her kitty cat on the head. Hurry, Alyssa. You don't want to miss your bus, said Alyssa's mom. Alyssa's mom kissed her on the cheek and told her to have a good day. Okay, Mom, I will. Don't forget today is report card pickup day. Her mom yelled and watched as Alyssa got on the school bus. Hi, Taylor. Hi, Alyssa, the girls said as they greeted each other like they did every day. Everyone knew that Alyssa and Taylor were best friends. and they sat together every day on the bus.
Aw.
The bus pulled up in front of the school to drop the kids off, and they were all excited for another day of learning. Good morning, class. Today is report card pickup day. I hope to see all you and your parents this evening, Miss Johnson said. As Miss Johnson looked around her class, she noticed that some of the kids appeared to be concerned, even sad. Alyssa was the only one with a big smile on her face. You see, Alyssa had a good reason to smile. She was a straight A student. She came to school every day. She did her homework and she paid attention in class. Daddy, are we almost there? I don't want to be late picking up my report card. Yes, Alyssa, we're almost there, Alyssa's dad said as he laughed. Congratulations, Alyssa, you did it again. All A's. Coming to school every day, paying attention in class, and always doing your homework pays off, Mrs. Johnson said as she high-fived Alyssa. Thank you, Mrs. Johnson, Alyssa said with a huge smile on her face. Taylor, Alyssa's best friend, overheard Mrs. Johnson as she congratulated Alyssa on her report card. That's Taylor. Yeah. The following day on the school bus, Alyssa waved to Taylor as she saved her seat next to her. Taylor didn't respond as she rolled her eyes and sat next to someone else. I'm not smart enough to sit with you anymore. I don't get straight A's like you, Alyssa. Aww.
Oh.
Right? Later during lunch, Alyssa sat at the lunch table with her classmates as they made fun of her. She's smart. We're not smart enough to sit with her. She's too smart to sit with us, all the girls said as they laughed. The girls continued to tease Alyssa as they called her, hey, smart girl. Look how sad Alyssa looks. Doesn't she look sad?
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm. It says, that's not nice, young ladies, Mrs. Johnson said to the group of girls. All you should be very happy for Alyssa. Getting straight A's is not easy. She works really hard. She comes to school every day and she pays attention in class and she always does her homework. Yes, Alyssa is a smart girl, but so are all of you.
Yeah, they could do it.
Absolutely. I don't want to be smart, Mrs. Johnson. The kids tease me. They don't want to play with me. And they call me, hey, smart girl, Alyssa said. Alyssa, there is absolutely nothing wrong with being a smart girl. You should be very proud of yourself. I wish all our students worked as hard as you did, Mrs. Johnson said. Mrs. Johnson bent over and she whispered to Alyssa, can I tell you a secret? Mrs. Johnson asked. Yes, Alyssa said as she wiped her tears. They are smart girls too. Alyssa smiled and gave Mrs. Johnson a big hug.
Oh.
With a new level of confidence, Alyssa walked over to the lunch table where all the girls were sitting. She told all the girls, Taylor, Tia, Michaela, Amber, Mackenzie, and Maya, you are smart girls too, just like me. All you have to do is come to school every day, pay attention in class, and always do your homework.
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
Yay.
And I just want to say, when I wrote this book, I thought about, Alyssa is my middle daughter. She was a very good student. She didn't get straight A's. And you don't have to be, I mean, straight A's, it's a great thing. That's great. It's a goal to reach for, but that doesn't mean you're not smart if you don't get straight A's. I was one of those kids, I dreaded report card day. I in my mind, I just talk too much. You know, I talk too much. I always get in trouble for talking. So, my mother used to say, girl, next report card, if you don't get it together. And I was just a talker. And to this day, that has benefited me more than anything. But I had daughters who, my daughters were super competitive when it came to report cards. My oldest daughter always got straight A's, always. My middle daughter, they both, all of them got academic scholarships, thank God, because I couldn't afford 3 daughters in college at one time. But it was a healthy competition, and I think it kept them motivated. But I want all children out there who are listening and who aren't listening to know, you do not have to get straight A's. You are still a smart girl. Just do your best. You don't let anybody set the standard for you. You just do the best you can, and that's what's important.
The goal is to compete against yourself.
Absolutely.
So as long as you're moving ahead, that's what the competition that counts.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I want to just read a little bit from each of the other books, if you don't mind, Bonnie.
Sure.
Okay, the first one, as I said, this was the first release. And a lot of people ask me, how did I come up with this concept for my books? And all my books I've written, I just go to sleep and I dream about them.
Really? They come
Ma'am,
in a dream.
I said my assignments are given to me in my dream while I sleep. So
Wow.
I just look at it as my assignments and some things I must do. And I just kind of just obey that. So I'm gonna read a
So
little.
your dream sets the tone
Yeah,
for what you do in your waking hours.
absolutely.
So your
Absolutely.
dream is your dream. Your dream that you dream at night is your dream coming true in your life.
And I used to
I
always,
love that.
when I was a younger person, like my sister used to be like, "What's your dream last night?" And I'm like, "I didn't dream nothing." And she said, "You must be forgetting your dreams. Put a pad on your nightstand so you can remember to write it down." I never dreamed, or either I didn't remember. I never could really say, "Okay, I had a dream last night," until I became an adult. And I think it's because of that I put so much emphasis on my dream, because I value them more, because I felt like I wish I had that. And when I finally started having those dreams, they meant the world to me. And they're my guide. They're my guide, absolutely. Okay, I'm gonna read a little bit
Wow.
of Hey Pretty Girl for you. Um, okay, here we go. And this is about a girl named Maya. Maya is a military child, which means they move a lot. They move quite frequently. And she's new at a school, and she's a nervous wreck. I've been new at a school several times, and I was always nervous, so I understand that. But I'll read this part. Why do you wear that stupid pink bow in your hair every day? Only babies wear bows, and it doesn't even match your clothes. Sheila laughed along with all the other students. I love my bow, and I'm not a baby, Maya said. What Sheila and all the other kids didn't know was that Maya's pink bow was special. Maya's grandmother had given her that bow before she died. Maya wore it every day because it made her feel close to her grandmother.
Oh,
So that's Maya, and this is Sheila. That's the school bully, unfortunately. And I named her Sheila because I had a school bully named Sheila when I was in elementary, and I never forgot Sheila. So that's a little bit of Hey Pretty Girl.
no, okay.
And here, Hey Supergirl is about a little girl named Michaela. Michaela actually helps with the water crisis that we have here in Flint. And she's one of those people. We have a lot of people
Oh,
who do a lot of stuff for us, but Maya is a little girl who took it upon herself to do some great things for the city because she understood the need, because she was living it. So let me
mm-hmm.
something. Hold on, let me find a little bit. Um, okay, okay, hold on, let me see. And when Maya looks at her mom, she sees her as a superhero, because her mom, she learned her to give back through her parents, because um that's what they do. So she naturally does that. It was came natural to her. So a
Mm-hmm.
little bit about Maya. Mrs. Johnson, look what I wrote. It's a letter so we can get clean water again. Mrs. Johnson looked at Michaela and smiled. She wasn't surprised that Michaela decided to do such a brave thing. Michaela, would you mind if I give this letter to someone who may be able to help Flint? No, Mrs. Johnson, I would like that very much, says Michaela, with a look of hope on her face. And this Mrs. Johnson again, and this is Michaela. And she actually, towards the end of the book, she does a lot for the city of Flint. And I just want kids to know that their value is there, and we can do small things to help each other. We can do big things to help each other. They're all significant, and I think that's very important for kids to know that. And also, each book comes with coloring pages. Each book has different coloring pages. I think they have like 5 each, and it's all
Oh, okay.
a word searching just to build vocabulary.
Oh, okay.
As an educator, I'm always looking for ways to build vocabulary. So, especially here in Flint, because our literacy rate dropped like 75%. So it's important to me that we try to pick up where we left off and keep building that momentum. So
I always love doing word searches.
me too.
Those are so fun. Those are fun.
Me too. My
Yeah.
brother did them a lot, and I always loved them. So, like I said, whatever I can do as an educator myself, and as a mother, and as a citizen of Flint, it's important to me that we all do our part and try to build that literacy rate up and encourage kids to read. Because without reading, I mean, we're handicapped if we can't read. So, and I always tell my daughters, I don't care if you're signing a contract for athletics, if you're going to college, if you're learning a trade, you will always need to have a level of reading to be successful. So I think that's very important.
And even shopping, I'm coming across, finding out how important it is when you go shopping to read the labels, because
Yeah.
you don't really know how much, like so many things have sugar in it. And if you're trying to avoid sugar, um, or they'll say low fat, and you're thinking, oh, this is diet food. No, not necessarily.
I learned
So,
that the hard yeah,
pardon
absolutely.
me?
I learned that the hard way. Absolutely.
And if it says low fat and then you eat twice as much, then you might actually end eating more than the regular, have more fat
Yep.
than the original
Right
thing.
about that. But absolutely, when you're shopping for, even if you want, you have to wear 100% cotton. You need to know labels for clothing, labels for food. Just it's reading. I mean, you're really restricted on what you're able to do if you can't read. Literature
Yeah.
is important. Absolutely, absolutely.
So tell me about male. You said, and Flint was Malai. What was her name?
Michaela.
Yeah, and tell me what you said. She because of the water and Flint. What was the deal with that in that story? What
Well,
happened in that story?
no, she was in school and they were passing out water, and it was her
Okay.
duty to help her in her classroom. And she went to get the water, and she noticed there were only like one case of water left, so she panicked. And that's when her, as a third grader, realized, oh my God, we're running out of water. And the water crisis had actually been in effect since she was in her mother's tummy. So
Really?
drinking bottled water was just normal for her. So that's what they did, because that's what we do here. So
Mm-hmm.
she drank, and when she seen it was about to run out, she thought about the bathing, because we use the babe to cook food. We use it
Oh.
for everything, brushing our teeth. Um, and it's
Uh-huh.
going on for about 7 years now. So it hasn't changed. We're still doing that. So and there's so many people that has given to Flint because of the crisis that we're in. Not only are we in a pandemic, we're still in a water crisis. So and me working in the schools and being on the school board, I see children who do water drives or healthy food drives, who help create those type of activities so families can get what they need, and we can keep us in Flint as healthy as we can.
Yeah, so kids can make a difference, and kids do make a difference, and yeah, so that's great.
And we need people
So,
to understand, no matter how insignificant you may think something is, it could be a water drive. It could just be a kind word to a friend who might be having a bad day. It could be a kind word to a teacher in your school. I mean, everything matters. It all matters. And I just want children to understand that anything you do that's nice or kind for somebody else, it matters. And then we need to do more of it.
mhm. So do you ever get a writer's block?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And that's when I know it's time to take a break. Yeah,
Okay.
I do, because I find myself at times forcing, and it was more so when I was writing my young adult books. Um, I got with my kids' book, it's just an easy flow. I write it, and I write I want the scenes to look, and I get them to the illustrator, and I wait on her to get done. And it's just really, it's almost effortless. And I attribute that to, because this is what I'm supposed to be doing. Not that saying that it doesn't take hard work, because it does. It's just
Mm-hmm.
that I was one of those people. My mother could sing, my sister could sing, my whole family could sing, not me. And I kept saying, "Danielle, I
But you
figured it
could
out.
talk.
Yes, I talk, and man, can I talk?" So I think, with that, because I need to talk when I'm talking about my books and my journey with my books. So this all kind of came full circle for me
Oh,
today.
yeah, it fits together.
So it all, I feel like I'm walking in purpose, and I love it. I love it.
So how did it feel when you wrote your first book? Now that you've got so many under your, was it hard writing that first book? Was it hard saying I'm done? And because sometimes when you're doing a paper, you'll like go over it and over it and over it and over it. And then it's hard to actually say, okay, I'm done. Maybe it's due that day, so you have to, you know. But how does that work with a book?
Well, my first book, when I say it, the one with 19 cautionary tales, that's a young adult book. That one was really difficult, because I talked about personal situations and things that happened in my life, and to people that I know, because I wanted to, I was they use it like at Job Corps, different high schools and shelters in Alabama, Michigan, Arizona, Atlanta is being put into the curriculum. But it's not, ain't nothing sugar coated in the book. It's just hardcore truth of consequences and circumstances. So, and I think that's important that children need to understand that there are consequences for certain actions. Of course, age appropriate, but that book right there, it was really difficult because when I started writing it, I wrote it by hand, and it was just too much. Sometimes I would cry, and then I would put it in a pillow, a cover, some clothes over it, because I didn't even want to feel the energy from the book. And when I would look over in the corner with all that stuff on, I would still cry. It was really difficult for me. So it took me actually 5 years to write a 200-page book because I didn't want to do it. I was being rebellious. My dreams, it kept coming to me in my dream, like, look, you need to get this done. You need to get this done and quit playing. So it was like I had to do that. It was clear to me that this is what I must do. So I got it done. And it's 19 cautionary tales. And people always ask, why not 20? I said, I'm not 20. Why not 20? It just came to me in my dream like that. And that's exactly how it's supposed to be.
Yep. So would you say that when you write, and you're especially, it sounds like you write about your own personal journey, apparently. You were crying, it was hard to write. What is the end result of having written it down? Does that, obviously it brings up feelings. Do you think bringing up that feelings is a good thing? Do you think it's, what do you think of that is? Was it healing ultimately in the end? Or was it?
I think so. Because I had dealt with a lot of different things in my life and losing a lot of people in my life, and revisiting is always painful for me. So my books aren't really for me. It wasn't for my healing. It wasn't for my my closure. It wasn't for any of that. I think, especially the first one, it was for young people to pick up and acknowledge and understand that bad choices can lead to consequences that you might not be able to come back from. So whether that be, because I have for example, I have a chapter in there about a friend of mine who was murdered by her boyfriend. And it just talks about how she had just left my house and my daughter was with her. And before I start crying, because I'll cry every time I think about it. So I think because you're crying, I feel like I'm healed. It's been a lot of years, but I think they're not for my healing or closure. It's for other young people to see what choices that were made that they can avoid some of the things that happen.
Okay. So what is your favorite, what would you say is your favorite book that you wrote to those children's books, the Hey Smart Girl and was it Hey Smart Girl, Hey Pretty Girl, Hey what?
Supergirl.
Hey Supergirl. Okay.
Birthday Girl.
And what? Hey?
Birthday Girl.
Birthday Girl. So what do you have a favorite?
I'm going to say my favorite is Hey Pretty Girl. And the reason being is because it was my first children's book. And I think the message is so powerful because we live in a society that judges us so much on our physical. And this book encourages and kind of redefines what pretty is. It's not about what you see, but how you treat people and how you make them feel. So this book kind of changes the game in looking at somebody and just thinking, oh, she's pretty or she's not pretty. How does she act? Is she a nice person? Is she good to people? Is she, and I think that's important that children don't judge a book by its cover.
So it's not as pretty is, but as pretty does, is what you're saying.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. That's the true definition of beauty.
Is what's on the inside. Yeah. Okay. So that sounds like an interesting, so how does and I like the what you said about the hey, smart girl is, in the end, she says, um, she struts over and she talks to her friends and because at first she was feeling bad and I'm taking it that she was feeling bad and then she's saying, you know what, you're smart too. You
Right.
can do it too.
Absolutely.
And so instead of caving, she encouraged them to join her instead of feeling bad because she was not a part of that group.
Mhm.
She's saying that's not the end of it. I'm not going to accept that as the end of it. Join me and be smart too.
And I like, it was so important to me to, with a new level of confidence, she walked over to the table. She was felt so defeated because she was kind of the odd man out because she got straight A's. And if you noticed her friend Taylor really looked sad when she heard Mrs. Johnson telling Alyssa congratulations on her straight A's again. And
Mm-hmm.
that's best friend, right? So as
Wow.
a friend, you would think Taylor would be happy for Alyssa, right?
Yeah.
But because Taylor, for what one reason or another, she felt like Alyssa thought she was better than her. Alyssa didn't think that. That was Taylor's thoughts, right?
Yeah.
So when Alyssa got those confidence was from talking to Mrs. Johnson, and she was able to uplift her friends and tell them it's no science to this. I just pay attention in class. I do my homework every day, and I come to school every day. That's it. There's no science to this. We just do that, and we can all get straight A's. We're all smart, but we can all
Mm-hmm.
get grades. So I think that message is important for kids to understand. Like you said, where it's not a competition. That your only competition is yourself. And if we
Mm-hmm.
like that more so than competed against each other, we wouldn't have those sad faces like Taylor had. We don't want
Yeah. Yeah.
that. Mm-mm.
So if it's about doing your best, beating, maybe doing a little bit, that's what swimmers do. I mean, they don't say, "Oh, I got to win," and because if it's all about winning, then everybody, most people lose. Honestly, if it's all about winning, only one person gets to win the race. But if you say, "I'm I'm going to beat my best time,"
Right.
then each person can win
Yep.
because they beat their best time. And they can do that at school. You say, well, I got whatever grade. I got a C. Then it was a C plus, and now I got a B minus, and then I got a B, and I got a B plus, and now, wow, I got an A. So
Right.
if you're working on beating your own best,
Yep.
then everybody can feel good about themselves and celebrate themselves. And if her best friend had that in mind,
Mm-hmm.
that beating her best was the most important thing, it wasn't about getting straight A's,
Right.
then maybe that would not have happened.
I
Do
don't
you
think it
think?
would have. I don't think it would have because if, like you said, if she would have looked at it a little different instead of looking at Alyssa as competition versus just being the best she could be, I don't think that would have caused those negative feelings that Taylor was obviously having. She didn't want to set with. I'm not smart enough to set with you. You get straight A's. I don't. And Alyssa was totally confused. If you see the expression on her face, she was totally confused on why her best friend would be saying those things. You know,
Mm-hmm.
it hurt her feelings, and
Mm-hmm.
she was just being the best her, and she didn't understand why that would be a problem to anybody
Mm-hmm.
else. So, and that's something, I've being in school and teaching, I've seen this. I've seen it. You know what I'm saying? So this is like I said, I'm not smart enough to make this stuff up, Bonnie. I have to write about what I know and what I've experienced and what I've seen. Anytime
Mm-hmm.
it brought her to tears that they didn't want to play with her. They didn't want to sit with her. And that happens. It happens.
And it takes a whole lot of courage when all these people are rejecting you and you walk up to their table.
Yeah.
That takes strength and that takes valuing yourself
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and knowing that. And I also liked that she was saying it wasn't just that. She was saying you also
Yeah.
can get A's. You also can do it this way. So she
Yeah.
was
All smart girls.
she was trying to connect with them in a different way. I really like that story.
Thank you.
So, so Danielle Green, tell us how we can get these books. What
Okay.
would we have to do to get these books? We buy this book online?
Yeah, well, they're on Amazon. Of course, you can go to Amazon.com. You can go to Barnes and Nobles. You can go to Walmart.com. If you want a signed copy, you can, because the website is being revamped because I'm getting new books added. You can go to Instagram to Hey Girl Book Series and DM me and let me know that you want some, and we can work out the payment on that, and you can get signed copies. Or you can go to Facebook and go to Danielle Green
Mhm.
and DM me, and I can get you signed copies that way.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's wonderful. Well, and I'm going to check to see if we have any comments on Facebook.
Okay.
And let's see.
Comments and questions. I love questions.
Yeah, so those people that are watching us, I see there are some people that are watching us. Um, if you have any questions for Danielle Green and about her books, also like, can you make a comment? That would be great. We'd love comments. I'm gonna look and see if we have anything right now. My computer is being very slow today. Okay, so, oh, don't see any comments right now, but is there anything else that you would like to say about your books and what it's like to being an author and what you can do to how to encourage those girls that would like to, maybe they would like to write a book, but maybe they're like me, where I know the broad outlines of a book. I know what I want to happen in the book, but somehow I haven't written it down,
Yeah.
you know? But you gotta write it down. It doesn't do any good up here. So do you have any suggestions?
I do. I was one of those girls who kept a journal growing up. I never anticipated or never desired to be an author. That's not something that I, wanted to do or thought I would ever do. Um, and like I said, my dreams. I was guided by my dreams. I want to say I've been in college for a long time. I've did several degrees, but those didn't help me decide what I wanted to do. Nothing against college. I encourage whatever works for you. But for me, I just I worked in the schools and I see there weren't enough, in my opinion, multicultural books. In
Okay.
the inner city school like Flint, we would kind of, I want to say we're not, um, but we had a lot of books that kids would love, but nothing with children that look like them, and not let alone seeing children interact with children that don't look like them. That's very important. We live in a
Mhm.
world with all kinds of people that look all different ways, and we need to encourage and show examples of us working together, playing together, working problems out together. I think it's very important. But representation matters. When we're reading, because my books, each character is a little different.
Mhm.
When I say different, I mean culturally. Um,
Oh, okay. Oh, okay.
so this is important to me. Maya is her at the top, right? So this is
Okay.
Taylor. She has a little hijab on. This
Oh, okay.
she's a little Asian cutie, and we have a
Oh,
chocolate girl named, what's her name, girl? Oh, with name Mackenzie. And then we have a biracial little girl. We have a cute blonde haired girl, and we have a red haired freckle faced little girl. When I talked to my illustrator, it was important to me that representation not only was for children of color, but all children. I just think, like I said, I think it's important that we interact and they see children interacting with children that don't look like them. That's very important because we're sending the wrong message if we just have a book with children interacting with children that just look like them. Nothing wrong with those books, but I think that we need to show them interacting with all kinds of people.
well, that's a great idea.
Yeah, I think that's important.
So how did you first so you always had a journal. So and you kept a journal your entire life, then how did you make that transition from the journal did you have somebody that was a mentor that helped you with the book publishing, or how did you find a publisher? I mean, how did you do that whole piece?
Okay, so let me tell you this story. So I call her the godmother, and her name is Michelle Moore. She's from Detroit, and I used to
Oh,
just flea marketing. She had a bookstore in there. I would buy her books, and I always thought, wow. But at the time, I still didn't want to be an author. But then dreams crept in, and I told her, I said, I want to write a book. And she's like, girl, you better write that book. You know, she encouraged me. And I'm saying for years, I would see her and she would be like, how the book coming? And I
oh, really?
that book, but I knew,
Uh-huh.
you know, she was out, and I don't think by design she even thought she was my mentor, and I'm not sure if I considered her to be that either. But as I look back and I'm more knowledgeable on how it affected me, on the conversations me and her had, and I got when I first wrote the first book, I got a phone call from a big publishing company in New York. Okay, so I shared that. I think I shared it with Michelle, and I ended up flying out to New York. And I'm thinking I'm about to get paid, girl. They about to buy the rights to this. But you know, that's because when you go to those, when you're a signed author, typically you'll get a lump sum or something. So I said, okay. So when I went to the meeting, I just, you know, I sat there and it was three men across the table from me, and they offered me $10,000. And I thought, $10,000, that's not really, that's not gonna work, you know, because in my mind, my book was worth $1 trillion, right? So 10,000, and that's my mind, right? So I said, no, I'm not sure that's gonna work. Because as I'm looking at these well-dressed gentlemen, and I'm thinking their suits cost more than that. I'm like, they're gonna give me this little check and think that's gonna work. That's not gonna work for me. And I'm sure they've gotten away with it before with other authors, but not with this one. And so when I talked to Michelle about it, she was like, girl, start your own publishing company. And I was like, you know, I'm like, how you? Because that's what she did. So she
She
just
started her own publishing company?
absolutely, yep. So I did just that, and it's called Image Publishings. Um, right now I'm just publishing my own works, but I get DMs all the time across the country wanting me to publish their books. But I'm going to start doing more of that. But I didn't want to do any author a disservice, so I needed to educate myself and learn more about the ins and out of publishing an author before I dove into that type of thing. But I'm definitely going to be doing more of that really, really soon. And I think it's the best thing I've done because I control my own destiny with my own books. I have a reputable publishing company, but no one can tell me what I have to do, when I have to do it. I control all of that. Win, lose, or draw, it's mine.
So how did you make arrangements to have the men in those three business suits and flying out to New York? How did that work? What started that?
I don't know. I got a call, and it was from a guy author I knew. I guess I don't know how they. I guess maybe he told him about my book or something, because the book was done.
Oh,
I
was it done?
in 2011. So that's when the first book came out. So I'm not sure how they found, if they have a department that does that type of search. And then they were telling me about the book was a little too real. And I thought, man, a little too real. What does that mean? So I'm big on real. I'm big on that. So for me, they wanted me to change some things. They wanted the cover to be a little different. And I said, no, that's not going to work, because that's not what my dream my dream showed me exactly what it is. So I walked away feeling defeated. And I felt defeated only because they only offered me $10,000. I'm like, man, I'm gonna buy a couple purses, and I'm gonna be like, dang, I gotta figure something out after that. So I didn't, but it was one of the best decisions I ever made, because, like I said, no one can tell me anything about my works. I wanted to be my legacy to be something I controlled. So I decided, no.
So so you had moments where you've had writer's block. You've had moments where you felt defeated.
Oh yeah.
What helped you push through that? And then they offered you 10,000, and you're like, that's not gonna. So how did you find your answers? That's an amazing journey.
You ask such good questions. You thought provoking questions.
Well, because I want to do what you did, but I don't want to start my own publishing company.
Responsibility it is, because I have to do everything on my own, and it's so much to this. It's so much to write in the book, all the ins and outs of copyright. It's just a lot to it. But far as me pushing through those type of situations, my dreams have always uplifted me and guided me. And I'm not, and I'm not saying that's all authors have that. We all have to find our way. And
Mm-hmm.
that's how I found my way. My dreams would not let up. They would, and I'm telling you, Bonnie, when I would get, like I got the sample cover from my first two books, and I would describe them to to the, what is it? What's the person who the cover? The graphic artist. I would describe to the graphic artist what I wanted. And when I'm telling you, as soon as I seen, I'm like, that's it. No doubt in my mind, 100%. So it's like everything fell into place like it was supposed to. I had no doubts. I had no questions. It just fell into place just like my dreams showed me it would.
So it sounds like you're extremely determined, and I hear that you almost had to do this, that there
Yes,
wasn't, it wasn't going to let you go. You had to do this. You had to write this book, and you had to get it published. Um, so it wasn't gonna, it's like somebody that has this, they have a vision where you wanted to go. You had a vision.
yeah, I did. And I'm still figuring things out as we go because it's like a never ending journey to get your books here, to get your books there. But it's not about the money though. The money just kind of came effortlessly with and I'm not saying a lot of money, but the money that I have made, it just kind of fell into my lap. And I think that's because like I said, I'm walking in purpose. And with that comes blessings that I didn't even anticipate. Things, I'm
Mhm.
always like I said, the school in Alabama, a lady reached out. She wanted to get 500 books for her seventh and eighth graders. And it's a workbook that goes with it too. The first book is called Coulda, Shoulda, Woulda, and
Oh, really?
the workbook is called Did It, Done It, Do It. So
And what grade is that at?
it's a
What grade?
it's typically ninth through 12th, but because of the situation and the circumstances that were going on in her school, she felt it was appropriate because we trying to intercept some things that were going on. And she had read the book and she thought it was perfect. So, she decided that and the school board approved it. So the book is for the changing lives. Like I said, it didn't do much for me but make me cry and relive some things that hurt me. But that was a sacrifice that I had to make. Like you said, I didn't really have a choice. I had to do this book. I had to write this book. It was beyond my control. And I felt like if I didn't write it, it was gonna be some consequences, girl. And I ain't got time for that. I want some blessings. I'm looking for blessings. I didn't want to deal with the consequences connected, not doing what I know I was supposed to do when it was clear that I was supposed to write this book.
Okay. Okay, again, we have Danielle Green, and she's an author, and she's written. You want to show us your books again?
Ma'am, I'll show you the children's book. The first one from
Children's books.
the Hey Girl book series is Hey Pretty Girl.
Okay.
And the second one is Hey Smart Girl.
Okay.
And the third one is Hey Supergirl. I'm trying to
And
think of
she's also let us know that she's written a young adult book. Is it one or?
it's two of them. One is an anthology, and the first one is 19 Cautionary Tales.
Okay, so thank you so much for joining us today and making our Juneteenth special because it's now a holiday. So I mean, it got signed. It's a holiday, national holiday. So um, thanks again. And so if you want to get one of Danielle Green's books, you can order them at Amazon.com. You can order them from Barnes and Noble, and
Walmart,
maybe and what
Walmart.com.
and Walmart.com. And just remember, you started out. You said you're an educator, so you're a teacher.
No, I'm not a teacher. I'm a school board member now, but my background is education, and my degree is educational. My master's in educational leadership.
Oh, educational. So you can write a book too, right,
I
Danielle Green?
recommend it. I recommend it. I really do. Some people do it for stress relief. Some people do it just because they want to tell a story and leave a legacy. Some people do it for entertainment. I mean, whatever your reason is, find a why. And I suggest you write a book. I would highly recommend it. And don't worry about the spelling and the grammar. I use an editor. We all use editors. So she catches all my mistakes and, and helps me develop at times what I'm trying to say to make it a little clearer. So don't worry about those little things. Those things can be worked out. So I would highly recommend writing a book, whether it be a children's book, a romance, whatever you like. I highly recommend that.
Okay. And so I think that's all different now. We just read a book for the children's room, special story time, and it's all different now. It's Juneteenth because it's Juneteenth. And so, the pandemic, Juneteenth, it's all different now, and you can make your dreams come true. You have to, I think what I hear you saying, Danielle Green, is you had somebody that said, well, when are you going to write that? When are you going to get that book out?
Yeah.
Somebody that would kind of like poke.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, God, Mama.
And your dreams kept coming to you, and you knew what you had to write your books about, and they kept poking you, and then you just weren't going to let it go. You were just going to make it happen. And so, and children out there, kids out there, everybody that's written a book started out somewhere. Danielle told me she started out writing journals. She started writing out as a journal. She just wrote what happened in her day that day. So, just the whole thing is you pick up the pencil and the paper, or you pull the keyboard out in your computer and you just start. The whole thing is you have to start.
And I'm telling you, once you start, thoughts just flow. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes it may not make sense to you, but just keep writing, brainstorming, writing. You have to, because no book is perfect when you first start writing it. And don't expect perfection. Don't be too hard on yourself. You can write a bestseller. You can write a great book that can touch some lives, change some lives, just by stepping out on faith. I think it's very important that we do that. And like when I wrote my first book, people were like, "Girl, you wrote all that in the book. You're not ashamed of all that stuff." No, no, I don't have the I'm ashamed DNA. I don't have that. And especially it wasn't about me. I know the experiences are things I experienced, but it wasn't about me. And I was okay with maybe somebody read and be like, "Dang, you was living that type of life, or you went through those type of things." I was okay with that. Doesn't bother me one bit. That's not where I am today, thank God. But I didn't have a problem sharing if it could positively affect the lives of a young person. It didn't bother me at all.
So when you say, I really like when you say it isn't about me,
Right.
because maybe that's might be what hangs people up, is it's about them.
Mhm.
And I hear is that a mission. I hear that you're attempting to, it's a gift. And it's, when you say it's not about me, I'm hearing that it's for others.
It is. It is. All my books, every single one of them is for others. And each book has a different gift to give, but none of it's about me. It's experiences that I've seen or had, but it's my responsibility and I think my duty to share those experiences, because it's not about me. It's about impacting somebody in a positive way.
Well, you've impacted me in a positive way, Danielle Green, and uh, I'm gonna. You're poking me. Maybe I'm gonna write my book, my children's book,
I hope so.
and maybe I'll check back with you, and you'll ask me, Bonnie, did you get that book written?
You say it so often. I say, "Bye, where are we on that book?" Absolutely.
So this has been absolutely delightful, and this is a wonderful Juneteenth celebration. And Juneteenth is now a national holiday,
Mhm.
and it is about we're all free now.
Mhm.
But maybe if maybe all of us, we can all set ourselves free
Absolutely.
by
Absolutely.
writing.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And like I said, so for some people it's therapeutic. It wasn't that way for me, but we all write books for different reasons. But whatever you have to find your why, just find your why. It's there. It's there. So I would suggest doing that. Yeah, find your why and let's get to writing. The world needs a lot of books.
Okay, well, thank you very much again, and happy Juneteenth to everyone out there. And this is the Pontiac Public Library wishing you a happy and healthy day.
Take care.
Goodbye.
Stay safe.
Bonnie Baldo. Danielle Green.
Thank you.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.